Mm. So, taking a moment to settle on in, maybe wiggling a little bit and just seeing if the way that you're currently set up is what feels best in your body today. Checking in, feeling the supports beneath you, noticing your cushion or your chair, just however you are. Remember that we're not aiming for some perfect meditation. We're meeting ourselves where we are today. And so that means checking in with whether your body feels supported the way you currently are. And then I like to think of it almost like a flow chart form. Is there something you can do to make yourself more comfortable? Or is this just how your body is right now? So figuring out whether there's action you can take, um, or whether acceptance is what's needed. And it really depends on the day, on the moment. Mm. And so as you check in with how your body is doing, I invite you to notice your natural breath. I'm not changing anything about how you're breathing. I'm just getting curious. What does it feel like to breathe? Just feeling the air move. Notice the difference in sensation between inhaling and exhaling. And then if you're still trying to find your perfect meditative posture, on your inhales, sitting up a little taller, and on your exhales, letting everything settle and soften. Doing that for as many rounds as you need. Just as you bring your awareness to this moment. Today, the practice that I'm most excited for comes from a book by Thich Nhat Hanh, Present Moment, Wonderful Moment. And there are a bunch of really lovely practices in here. Um, One of my favorite Thich Nhat Hanh quotes, which, I mean, there's so many wonderful quotes from this wonderful teacher. Um, Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. And so we'll start with that before we move on to the other practice I want to do from this book of allowing your thoughts and emotions to come and go like that windy sky. What does it feel like to let your breath be your anchor? Knowing that anytime your mind wanders, you can check in again with your breath, that you can let each exhale be a release, while each inhale brings you back to this moment. And what makes our breath such a wonderful tool is that you always have it with you. If we get caught up with other tools like this app or our special cushion or the meditation corner of our house, we might not always have those, but our breath is always there. The rhythm of it might change, but you can always bring your focus to your breath. So, the main practice I wanted to do from Thich Nhat Hanh's book is focused on the breathing, and it has different things to keep in mind with each inhale and each exhale. So, I'll recite it at least twice. We'll see how it flows. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know. As the in-breath grows deep, the out-breath grows slow. Breathing in makes me calm. Breathing out brings me ease. With the in-breath, I smile. With the out-breath, I release. Breathing in, there is only the present moment. Breathing out, it is a wonderful moment. Just notice how that felt for you. I'm going to recite it once more. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know. As the in-breath grows deep, the out-breath grows slow. Breathing in makes me calm. Breathing out brings me ease. With the in-breath, I smile. With the out-breath, I release. Breathing in, there is only the present moment. Breathing out, it is a wonderful moment. I really like that last line. Breathing in, there is only the present moment. Breathing out, it is a wonderful moment. There's also a shortened version that I'm going to read through maybe 3 times. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, release, present moment, wonderful moment. We'll spend some time sitting with that breath before I repeat. I'm going to repeat the shortened version again. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, release, present moment, wonderful moment. One of my favorite meditative tools is to bring a soft smile to my face. Nothing big or cheesy, but just a gentle uplift. Especially on a day when I'm struggling to really drop into the meditative space, finding myself really taking things too seriously. To just pause, bring a bit of a smile, and to remember that we're already here in the present moment. We just need to soften some of the confused mind elements that are taking us out of the present moment. For the final recitation, I'm going to do the full version again, not the shortened version. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know. As the in-breath grows deep, the out-breath grows slow. Breathing in makes me calm. Breathing out brings me ease. With the in-breath, I smile. With the out-breath, I release. Breathing in, there is only the present moment. Breathing out, it is a wonderful moment. Remember that as we breathe, we aren't forcing the breath to be bigger or smaller. We're simply following the natural breath. Maybe you aren't sure what your natural breath is. So that's where you can get a little curious. What does it feel like to breathe a little deeper? Or was that breath too deep? What does it feel like to soften your control around the breath and just see what your body does? One of my favorite breathing prompts that I'll bring to mind throughout the day. It's pure mindfulness. As you inhale, I am here. And as you exhale, it is now. So if you're having a day where your brain is really swirling, I am here. It is now. Both true statements. Sometimes, if we jump to affirmations or more aspirational phrases, there's a part of our body or brain that goes, I don't know. But you are here, and it is now. And from there, we get curious about what the experience is like to be here now. We're not saying whether or not we like the experience, we're just noticing what it is. What does it mean to you to be here, to be now? What happens if you allow your thoughts and emotions to move like clouds on a windy day? Where you aren't forcing them to be here or not be here. You're allowing them to come and go as you breathe. And from this space of compassion and curiosity, we're going to move into our loving kindness practice. This is a series of well wishes that we wish for ourselves, for a loved one, someone who represents conflict, and all beings. So perhaps starting to think of who your loved one and who your conflict person might be. But we'll begin with ourselves. So sometimes I like to place my hand on my heart or on my belly, and I'll read each line and then pause to give you time to either repeat silently in your mind or out loud, depending on where you're practicing today. May I be filled with warmth and love. May I hold my fears with compassion and understanding. May I accept myself just as I am. May I be at peace and at ease. So now bringing to mind someone that you love deeply. This could be a friend, family member, a beloved pet. And again, repeat as though you are saying these well wishes directly to this being. May you be filled with warmth and love. May you hold your fears with compassion and understanding. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you be at peace and at ease. And typically, we'll also include someone neutral. But in the interest of time, we're going to go right to someone who represents conflict. Again, never starting with someone who is a main source of trauma or active distress, but just a small disagreement to start with. And now speaking directly to this person, May you be filled with warmth and love. May you hold your fears with compassion and understanding. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you be at peace and at ease. And now, in closing, with all beings, may all beings be filled with warmth and love. May the fears of all beings be held with compassion and understanding. May all beings accept themselves just as they are. May all beings be at peace and at ease. Taking a few moments here to notice how it felt, to offer those well wishes. And as we bring today's practice to a close, bringing your palms together at your heart space, take a moment to thank yourself for making time for meditation, feeling grateful for everyone who meditated alongside you. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you.